Good. We should be in YouTube. Can somebody confirm we're live in YouTube? Thank you. Okay, good afternoon again, traders. Let me start. Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to the weekly outlook. I hope all of you had a great holiday, celebrated your New Year's, enjoy your fun. Hope last year was really good for all of you, and hope we can make this year much better. All right? So not a lot of people in right now. I don't know how many people in YouTube. Maybe not a lot of people got the link in time. So how many people we have in YouTube? Anybody can check to see what the number is in YouTube? Because we only have 42 people in this room. That's nothing compared to the 200 plus we normally get. And 42 in YouTube too. Okay, I hope they'll be watching the recording. My apologies, I probably put out the link a little too late for them. Okay, let's go. Let's start. So first of all, let's start with a little reflection of last year. I hope all of you made money, and some of the trades we were speaking about that you could have made a lot of money in. One of them was silver, buying silver and holding it, buying silver. If you exit, put entry orders to get in back. This was an entry order. We exited it here. If you remember last year, I told you, I got tagged in this entry order when it's moving. So silver is going good. You might get some consolidation very soon, and then we were expecting silver to continue to go. So if you trade only silver but nothing else, right? If you only trade silver but nothing else, I told you last year, if you're only trading silver from the bottom to the top, and we expect it to come to this top, you can double your account, right? Literally. So from there to there, you should have about 10% of your account up already, 10 to 15% up on your account. Right? I hope all of you made that kind of money. Anybody made money in silver last year? Give me a yes if you did. I was expecting to see 44 yeses. And I only got 2 or 3, right? That's not good. So if you didn't make money last year, it means you're missing out. Right? What that means is that there is still a lot more for you to do to learn. A lot of my traders make money. I know that. A lot of them did. So, and I few of those people who typed there are already my traders. So if you, the rest of you here who are not my traders, did not make money, or if you will be watching this video and you didn't make money on silver, then you probably have to learn to trade. And you have to understand the power of wave analysis and how it works. So last year, I remember I asked you guys a question, and I made a promise that this year I would give you 1 week of trading time with me. So we need to set a date and a time for that. Since there are only 45 of you here, you guys have the chance of making that choice about the time and the date you would like. I'm thinking if I open my, I don't know if you guys can see my calendar here. I'm thinking of starting on the 14th to the 18th. But we can go from the 21st to the 25th. So what we can do, the timing, I think we'll have to choose sometime between maybe now or a little earlier. If now is too early for some of you, then we can go a little later. Starting from 8 to 10 New York, I think that would be good time. From the 14th would be good, right? So here's what I'm going to do. Just a couple of you. Let's put out the poll. Let me see if I can put up a poll very fast for that, right? I'll add a question. Let's go with the poll first. So the question should be, I think you guys can see me typing the question. 1 second, guys. I have to take this call. I'm getting a call right now. Okay, guys, I'm back. Let me get these questions going. No need to rush. Nothing much is happening. You're not missing anything right now. Let's just set this up and go. We will go from the first one would be from the first choice of the dates would be from the 14th It will have to be 2 poll. I think we go from the 14th. I'll just leave the dates as from the 14th. We'll just go for the time. So I think from the 14th would be good. All right, so we'll just go. We'll just set up the poll for the timing. I think that we'll have 2 choices of the timing. One is you can go from now, which is 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. 8 to 10 a.m. New York time. The second option would be, okay, why it's not giving me a second option? Come on, it's very slow. First one would be 8 to 10 a.m. And the second one would be we can do a number of them earlier than that. Earlier would be throwing off a lot of people because you wouldn't be in. So we can go from 9 to 11 a.m. After that would be too late for people who are in the Asian session, right? So I think those are the 2 dates we can put. If it's none of the above work for you, then let's see how many people are not fitting in with that, right? So I'll put none. None means none of the above is working for you, right? So then we'll say if there's more than 50, if the majority doesn't work, none of the above, choose none of the above, right? If the majority choose none of the above, then we will have to go with a different time. All right, so I'll just add the question. I'll save the question. And it's saved, and I will share. So I'll launch a poll. We will do it next week. So it's going to be from the 14th. I think the 14th would be great. So just put everybody can vote very fast, so we will get the answers. It's going to be 8 is exactly now. We'll start from 8 and we go on to 10. It's a 2-hour session. So we still have about 14 more people to vote, and then we'll. Come on, guys. It's either 1, 2, or none, right? One of the 3 answers ought to fit you. So just click 1 and let's go. Just about 10 more people to vote. What happened? The people who are on YouTube, you can't vote. You would have had the chance to vote had you joined the live link. So you would have to go with what the majority chooses here. Come on, there's still about 10 more, there's still about 7 more people to vote. All right, guys, it takes you less than, I mean, we don't know who you are, so just click one of the answers. Dragos, did you vote already? No, you guys don't type your time here. You have to click on the poll. You can see the poll, right? I know there's a lot of people typing your time there. You just need to click on the poll. There are about 5 more people still left to vote. Come on, 5 more people. Just click. Let's go. Maybe it's the 5 people who typed their time here. Can you please click on the anyone not seeing the poll? So 3 more people still to vote. Okay, I'll just call. Those 3 will not make a difference. Right, so we'll go. End the poll and show the results. The 3 people left to vote will not make a difference. So I'll share the results. Okay, so I think you guys can see, right? 8 to 10 actually won. So we'll go with next week. That is next week will be from the 14th. From the 14th to the 18th, it's going to be from Monday to Friday, and it's going to be exactly the same time of the webinar. So what I will do is I'll post the link out as usual here, and we will put up a very short video, 30 minutes video on YouTube, which probably I'll run it as an ad for a while so people can get access to it, use the link. You will also see some testimonials from some of my traders. It's not more like ad, it's just their views of what they think of the group. We've asked people and a few people came forward. It's a live they took their phone and they made some live videos. We put it all together. Actually, it's done by my traders. I had very little part in doing it. They did it themselves, so we put it out. It will be on YouTube, right? So great. That means everything is fixed. So the account that I will be trading is a $500,000 account. I hope the trolls are here now. The ones who like to ask me questions whether I trade or not. So this account was open. This is actually one of my investor accounts. I got his permission to use it and to show you guys. This account was open in November. If I showed you the stats, you'll probably see. Account, you can see it here on, I will have to go with account. So we'll have to, this is year to date. So we will change that from, make it custom, and I'll put it from the 1st of November. I would put this from the 1st of November. It's somewhere in the 20th of November, but I'll put it in the 1st because I can't remember the exact date. So I'll put 1st of November. So you can see it's, this is where it opens sometime on this date. Right, so it's a 500K account. You can see this was a date when 500K came in on the 16th of November. Because the day before some money came in that. And from then we've been going. So we were at 60-something thousand euros. This is a euro account. In about a month and a half. I didn't trade most of those times. Most of the trades, as you can see, is silver, right? Just silver. That is where all the money came in from. I put on a few small trades and just took them off, basically, before the year-end close. The only thing I have running right now is silver, right? So you can see that it's a silver account mostly. Like I said, you can double your account if you trade only silver. So on this account, if you go back, you can see, let me go back to this is the performance. Where is that? I think the portfolio one will give. Yes, you can see all the profit is silver. Everything, just silver, right? Go back to trading. This is a live one running right now. And the history, I don't think, the history will show you just 2 or 3 trades, nothing much. Just 2 or 3 trades on that. The total account is 565 right now. That's the value. Right? This is booked. This is what is open with this running. So if you want to invest, if you're one of the investors, then you can invest minimum some 500K. It could be USD, it could be Euro, it could be pound, those 3. Within those 3, 500K, but you come for 500K USD, right? So that is the account we'll be trading for a week. You guys will have an idea what I'll be doing. Not very much. Don't expect me to go into details, but I'll just pretty much show you I'm taking this trade or taking this trade. I don't take a lot of trades. So within a week, hopefully we can get 2 or 3 trades. Because I don't take a lot of trades, but it will be still informative for you to come every single day because you don't know when I'll be taking a trade, when there's a trade setup. I can show you some trade setups that I wouldn't be taking, which is short-term trades. Like here is a good trade you can take for 20, 30, 40 pips. Not a trade that I would be clicking, but you can take it, right? So I'll show you. And then if there's a trade that I'm interested in, then I'll show you that, okay, this is the one I'm taking. It's just normal live trading video. So when I put that link out and I put that video out, I'm hoping that all of you in here can help share it. So 6 to 7 of you here, at least you know, each one of you know 2 traders. And those 2 traders know 2 more traders. So let's make it happen. All they need to do is come and see the power of how wave analysis works. I know today, most of you guys are waiting for me to give you an update. Don't worry, you will have the update. There isn't much to look at in the update. We did a webinar this morning for my group. One thing I want to show you more before we go is the Aussie New Zealand. The Aussie New Zealand chart. I want to show you how the magic works. All of you would remember this chart. Remember what we said? We wanted to drop below this point and then you can start buying. Well, I must say I made a big mistake by not putting my entry order there, although I told my traders they should have an entry order there. And I think a couple of them did. About 7, anybody from my group who did it this morning is in here? You can just type a yes because a couple of them did. Okay, good. You can see a couple of them here did, right? Even the group, quite a good number did. They put their entry order on the day and it worked like magic because that is what we were waiting for this, right? Remember we spoke about this in all the in-depths and we studied this, right? And we were waiting for it to go. So if you had an entry order there, you're well up in the money. If you're not, don't worry. This is the daily, this is the 4 hour. we want a 4-hour correction, which means we want this to start making a 4-hour correction in here. And then we will all, if this happens within the week that we'll be trading, we will be in this trade to the upside. You can see why we would be in this trade. We are expecting this to go very much to the upside. You can see that, right? If you're looking at this, we were expecting this. I actually had a chart here that I copied from the CAD that had a similar structure. This is from the CAD, dollar CAD. This has a very similar structure, and you can see why we're looking at this trade. So we might be in this trade for a long time. Right? The margin on silver, wonderful. Remember I told you, all you need to set your margin on silver is that you never get, it never goes to zero and make you think. If it goes to zero, then you're pretty much going to be like 80% down on your account. And after that, it could go up. Well, I never expect silver to go to zero, so I'm doing very well with that, right? So if you can see, my used margin is about 2% used margin, 6% used margin. I don't use a lot of margin when I trade too. So let's go. Sorry, guys. I may not be able to mute in time for the cough, but I still have a slight cold. So this is a good one. These are ones. So some of them that didn't work, that, you know, people said, oh, well, he thought it was going to go up, but it didn't go. So let's look at some of those. This is what you should understand, or this is what you would learn in the 1 week trading with me. If it doesn't go my way, not my problem. I'm not in the trade. You notice I'm not in a yen trade. Yen doesn't go my way, no problem, let it go. Where were you wrong in the analysis? The whole point of this is not to prove to anyone you're right, it's to make money. That's your whole point. So when you do the analysis, the ones that you're right about, you should be making a ton of money in them. Like silver, 65,000 in just a couple of days. Even percentage-wise, that's 10% or more, right? 65, that's 500K, that's about 10, 11, 12%. Right? So percentage-wise, you make a lot of money, not only cash-wise, because your account may be small. If it didn't go exactly like you wanted to go, no problem. We were selling this to this level. You see where the arrow is? We were selling it to that level. Then we were expecting it to go up. So if you were in the sell, if you were one of my traders and you were in that sell, which would be selling these, selling that, selling this, selling this. If you were in that sell, you made a good ton of money if you're lucky. If you manage to close it. If you didn't manage to close it, that means you make a small sum here. Now, we're expecting this to still go up. Structurally, there is no change. There's absolutely no change structurally. This is still going to go up. So let me go back to the big chart. I will go to a lot of big charts today so that you can see. Don't worry, we will go into the fine charts again. Sunday, I will do another update for you guys, and then Monday we start trading. So the whole point of this is that we're still in the consolidation. So this is still expected to go back up here, at least break this stop. And then we will see whether we're going to get the downside. We're still going to be in a big consolidation here for a while. So this up move is very likely going to happen. And if it's going to happen, that's the next good trade we will get. Not as big as the other trades that I show you, like silver and Aussie New Zealand, but this is going to be a good one, right? If you guys have questions, please keep it for the end, right? We'll come to them. I'm not so much trying to show you every trade today. I'm trying to show you how this works, why it works, and how you're going to trade it. So this month is mostly how you should trade it, right? That's about it. Let's go. So if you were one of the people who are saying, like, you know, hey, he says yen is going to go up, but it didn't go up. Well, no big deal. Now it's going up. We don't have to know exactly from where a trade is going to go up. You have to know that when you have a setup that says now it's going to go up, you better be in that setup. That's what you need to do. If you want to be a successful trader, you have to understand the very few things you need to know about trading. You have to have good analysis skill. You have to have that. That's a must. You have to be able to do forecasts, to analyze the charts, to be able to accurately, to at the highest degree accurately say where you think it's going to go, because you're placing your bet on your bias that it's going to go one way or the other. And that means you better be correct about your analysis. And the second thing you need to have is a good strategy, how you're going to get into it if it starts to go your way. Remember I showed you that Aussie New Zealand where we had that entry order, some of our traders did. I'm actually beating myself up for not paying attention to that, didn't put the entry order in. I should have had the entry order there. But I was off the charts a week before the year end and a week after the year. So I actually thought it's never going to go so fast, which my fault. I shouldn't have wasted my time thinking how fast it's going to just put damn short and leave it. If it never went there, good, I wouldn't be in the trade, right? Sue me, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Yeah. I should have never been in trade if it never gone there, but it went and it went up. So good to my, it's the traders who took it. Very good job. Well done. Right. Same here. We will look at the structure. We'll see where the structure is going to go. I'm going to show you why I think this structure, and then we will use a strategy as to how we're going to go on. Now, you may not get a lot of details in the strategy, but I'm just going to say, okay, I'm buying and selling. You still have to learn to do all this stuff. And then you manage it. Then money management. The third thing you need to do is money management. How much money you're going to risk in each trade, and if you lose that trade, is it going to break your account? That's the whole thing about money management. It's very simple. Can you handle the loss? Money management has come down to a very simple thing. Can you personally handle the loss? Because if you can, then you're over trading. If you can handle that loss and you would survive and you would still make money, great, go ahead. Do it. If you can't handle it, then your money management is poor. Right? If that is breaking your account, if you're nervous, if you're panicking when the trade is going against you, your money management is very bad. That's all. If you can do those three, you'll be a successful trader. Let's go. Dollar index. Dollar index behaved pretty much as we expected to behave, which is you can see that B wave pattern there, and we expected to come back here. It did. How this C wave is going to behave will be the question. So let's go in the bigger picture and see what we think dollar index is doing. So for those of you who know patterns, there are two ways you can look at this. I'm going to go very fast because time would be. You can either make an assumption that this is making an expanding flat because we have everything, all the criteria for a possible expanding flat there, which means dollar index is going to come higher. That's your first assumption based on the analysis and based on patterns that you can see. You can make an assumption that this was a smaller pattern in here, a smaller flat, and this was the end of the structure. So this is your first impulse to the downside. And you could be correct, right? You could be correct about this. Now, since we have two possibilities based on what we have right now, those possibilities could change as the structure develops. So one out of those two will be proven correct, or we will get a third possibility, which means this thing turned out to be a bigger correction here and then go. Right? I'm not going to go into all the detail because we're not. I'm just telling you that right now, what we have now is showing us those two possibilities, and those two possibilities tell us you need to have proof of one. From this level, we bought it because we saw that proof of one. We saw it turning here. You see that correction. You saw it going up. We saw that structure. And then we saw this turn coming. So what does that mean? Does that mean we're going to go down? If that means we're going to go down, then this is all the correction, or are we going to go into more correction before we go down? See, it's pretty easy if you start. If you know this stuff, it's very easy. If you don't know, you're going to really struggle. So for those guys who are saying sometimes he said it's easy, sometimes it's difficult, let me repeat it again. If you know how to analyze the chart, if you understand patterns, if you know the existing patterns, and if you know all the possibilities of existing patterns that can play out as the structure is developing, it's easy. Trading, difficult, especially if you don't know how to do the first three things I told you need to do, right? Analysis, strategy, money management. So this is easy. This thing is pretty easy, right? You can see. So if it's going to go down, how do we get into it? Pretty easy. Wait for a setup that you know. Wait for a lower degree pattern that you can trade. Right now, the pattern that I'm seeing shows me there's a possibility for upside. So if I get a buy setup, I will go with the buy. If I get a sell setup here, I'll ignore it. It's that easy. I don't need to be right about this. I need to get what I'm looking for. And I'm looking at this pattern, and this pattern tells me this is a three-wave structure. If this structure keeps going down, I don't know how far that is going to go, but it will end at some point in the three-wave. But if it starts to go up, I know where it's going. And that means I want to be in the buy. That's important. Just like I showed you in the Euro New Zealand and the Aussie New Zealand, we did not trade the downside. Remember, we said we actually ignored this downside quite a lot. because it wasn't behaving the way we wanted it to behave. But we knew that once we break that low and it starts to go up, we're going to be looking for the upside. That's how it works. And now if you're not in with an entry order, you wait for a setup. You get a setup to trade it, and then you go right in it. What would a setup to trade this be like? Give us a 4-hour consolidation. 1-hour consolidation no longer is valid here because this move is too big. 1-hour consolidation will get you in trouble. I'm not going to go into details of why, but if we get a 4-hour consolidation, that would be a wonderful trade. That would be an amazing trade to get in. And that means we're going to get right into the 4-hour consolidation and go all the way up. Euro. Let's go to Euro. Euro has been doing exactly what I wanted, what I expected to do is go sideways the whole time until I come back, right? Until we're back to trading. It just went sideways, a lot of sideways. You could have got some small trades up and down. Some of my traders, you know, on the chat that they were in, when I came in and I was reading some of it, some of them did get some of the trades who were trading. It was risky to trade during that time, but if you did, it's okay. You make some money, right? People make money when their risk is great. I'm expecting this pattern to break down, right? This pattern here has to go down at least once, right? This looks more. There is a very slight chance that this piece here is the consolidation. That's your first impulse. And this could continue to go up. There's a slight chance that that is going to go. I really don't like that pattern there as the pattern. It's not very common. So I would go with the entire thing as being the pattern, which means I can expect this to maybe go back here, maybe not, and then start a down move. Make an impulse to the downside, break this low, and then we will decide whether they're going to go up. But based on our long-term analysis, I'm expecting it to go down more. Will that analysis be right? We'll see. Because I'm looking for this to be an ending diagonal structure, one of those expanding ending diagonal structures. So I'm expecting this to come back to the low. We made that forecast quite a while back, over a year now, when this was here and it was going up. We said, watch it to go up, and then we're going to expect it to come back, and then we'll start to look for this to go up. Now, as far as we have right now where analysis stand, that is going very good. There isn't anything else that says that it looks structurally different. This is not going the way I expect it to go. This is going a bit too slow, right? And that means there could be structural change. So we will keep an eye on this to see whether there is any structural change for upside. Right now, I'm looking for this structure within the next couple of months to go down. So if we get any sell setup, we will go with it. Right? Worst case is we'll try to get a break even out of a bad trade. And that's a good thing to do. If you got a break even out of a bad trade, that's a great thing to do. Right? Let's go. Pound. 1 second, guys. Just give me 1 second. Sorry about that. I still have this cold that is bothering me, right? So let's go. Pound did exactly what I expected to do too. It went down a little more, but that did not change the structure. It's not about that drop. We didn't care about that drop. When I was looking at this piece here, and if you were following me, you'd hear me say that doesn't look very impulsive. So I'm expecting it to make one more up. It looks like we might end up with a running flat here. And that means Pound might end up going down some more. Now, how high this goes is a good question, right? How high that one goes is a good question. So let's see. I think looks more downside from here. Basically, first up, how high it comes, and then we would expect some downside. I don't think we will see a longer term consolidation like within this area here. I don't think that would be possible, but I would not make that forecast as it stands right now. I'm expecting it to come back to about this stop here, which means something more up here, and then we can start to get it downside. Now, pound and euro could go down while you might still find silver and everything going sideways if it is a US dollar movement. So we could see those go sideways if it is a US dollar movement. Let's see how that behaves. If it's not a US dollar movement and just a pound movement, then the pound could just fall and everything else will continue doing what they're doing. Aussie actually dropped. We're looking for that sell. So if you got into any of those small sells, you were lucky if you stayed, especially if you got into this final last sell here. That was a perfect sell setup and you stayed, you put your trade at break even. I hope you managed to get some profit out of it. Right? So if not, you will have to see. You'll have to, wait. You just got a break even trade and now you'll wait for it to make a consolidation and then we'll be going up, right? Jagos, what is it? I think you find out a lot of forecasts right now because we're doing the forecast right now. I'm giving you a sense of direction where they're going to go long term, and then we will come into the smaller trading thing. So keep an eye on this. There's a good chance we might even come back to retest these stops. There's a very good chance for that. We're not going to go into that part of the forecast as yet. Let's see what it does here. We want to pull back. For you to get into that trade, you want the 4-hour pullback. If you take the 1-hour flag breakout, you would have to be very, very, very careful because the movement has gone so far that at any point of time, they will start to make a correction before they go. They always make corrections. You can see that, right? So you shouldn't be surprised if it starts to correct. If you jump in at the top there, that's exactly where the correction could start. Now, I'm not saying it will start there. We don't know where it's going to start. If you're going to take this trade, you just have to manage it properly. So there might be a small flag making here, kind of a small flag here. You can see if you're going to take that trade, it goes a little, put it to break even because at any point they could start to do this before they go back up. And you don't want to, get 10 pips and then take a loss. It wouldn't make sense. New Zealand is the same thing. New Zealand, I'm expecting to at least go down a little more. It looks like that might not happen, but we were expecting this to go down a little more. I like when these patterns complete by them breaking the low. They don't have to do that, but it makes the pattern more authentic. If this comes here and break the low, at least you're absolutely sure about the pattern now. When it stops here, you have to wait for a lot of signs, a lot of setups to get into those trades, and you will have to be careful until it breaks the top. You really have to be careful because at any point it could still give you that drop. So if we're going to get any buy setup here for this up move, which means if the move starts from here and not from here, and you're going to expect that to go up and you're looking for the buy setups, then you would have to be very, very careful when you get in the trade, right? So let's see, this could still come down from here, and I hope they do because I would really like them to break this low first. And if they do that, that will give us a perfect setup for upside, right? So let's see. Yes, that should help. Let's see. If this goes down, Aussie New Zealand will go up. So that should help. So let's see. We want some more sideways here to see how this is going to work, right? Let's see how it works. Yen. I think we did the yen already, so I'll just show you what we're looking for. Wait for a correction. You could actually put an entry order there if you want. If it goes down, that will not be affected. But I think you'll most likely see it coming down here some more before they go. You get a correction like that, and then it could be a sudden drop and then go back up. That is why we're putting that entry order there. And that entry order should help there. All the yen pairs looks upside. We'll come to them just now. CAD. So CAD finally dropped. Remember, we're looking for it to go down from this level. And it went up some more, and now it's finally dropping. So the question, because this CAD is no longer making the pattern that we thought it was making. So we were looking for this to come back from this level here down here and then go back up. That would have given us this pattern. That is no longer valid. This is the separate pattern of its own, and this is making a new whatever it's making. So if this drops here, that will be a totally different pattern. We will be looking for something more complex than there. If it makes correction here, if they make correction only in here and then go back up, well, that would be something we can anticipate. Right? That would be something we would look for. If we get a deep correction here and then an up move, we'll be ready to buy. Because that would be something that I understand they can do. Right now, we're just waiting a little more to confirm what this piece is doing. This is not fitting into the bigger pattern. At least not as yet. Sometimes you have to wait quite a long time to get more structure to actually confirm what the bigger pattern is doing. But for now, we will be looking for short-term sell setups. Wait for flags, wait for correction, and then get in the trade. Swiss definitely will be going up. Their short-term sells. If any of my traders took that one this morning, remember we spoke about this in the room. If you take that sell, put it to break even. Watch it when it breaks this low. Right, you will start moving your stops at the profit because this was one this morning we were looking at. It's going to probably come here. But the bigger picture is upside. If you look at it from the daily, you can see that the bigger picture is upside. Right? I'm expecting this to at least make one more impulse up from somewhere here when it breaks out of that structure. Now, only one pattern whereby this could go down, and we looked at that this morning in our trading room, the possibility of this being a running flat, then it's going to drop. And that is why I said if you take it, just put it to break even and leave it. I don't think it's a running flat, but we'll have to look into it. I haven't looked into this pattern very much. Honestly, I'm looking at these charts again after about 2 weeks. I haven't been in the chart, so which is nice. Get off of it for a while and then come back. Let's go. Silver we did already. Gold is going up, but you have to be careful. Some consolidation is going to happen here. Gold might go up quite a lot. We thought that this pattern here, this little piece here would go break the low and then go back up. Well, it actually is going up already. So I would say that they're probably not going to go break the low anymore. We're looking for upside. So where would the upside take us? Let's see. We're probably expecting this to go all the way up to about this level. And then we can start to see more downside. There will be more downside, just so you know, right? So there's going to be one more upside and then downside. Here was where you look for. You can actually trade this if you get, every time you get a consolidation like that. So you can see short term we were buying, this were buys. This was buy setups. All these were buy setups. So short term we're still in the buy, although we thought that it might go break the low. Short term buys. If you take the short term buys, you get small pips out of it. So if we get a consolidation in here, we would look for a buy setup and we'll take the trade. All right, let's see if we get that. Let's go. Euro Oz. Euro Oz, this is easy. Wait for a correction. Euros actually did exactly. I don't know how many of you were following me in the weekly outlook for this pattern. Remember when we told you we think this is making a running flat and it's going to come back to this level and then go? Well, the magic works, right? There's a good reason why we saw that pattern way ahead of time, right? Because we know that pattern was going to come and it worked very well. So now it looks like they're reversing from there. We have divergence in the top. They're showing signs they want to reverse. Wait for a correction here. Let them prove that you can make a correction here, and then we look for a sell setup. All right. This is too small. I would like to see a bigger correction, a deeper correction, way back to about half of this, 50% or so. If you get something like that, that would be a good one. Can you buy it up to the top there? Well, if you want a short-term trade, that might be a good trade to look at. If you get a flag here and you want to buy it back to the top there, that might make sense. So you can work on that one. Euro New Zealand. I think the same thing. We were expecting more downside already on this pattern. Okay. We have this double candle that you didn't see there, which we were looking at this morning, the possibility of it going. So if you get a 4-hour consolidation here, which you're about to get already, see this? You're getting that 4-hour consolidation. That could be a good sell setup. Okay. They may go up some more, and I do hope they go up some more. You can get a short-term buy here if you're interested. Very short-term buy, probably it's about here, and then come back down, and then like this, and come back, and then that. Then you look for the sell. It's not going to happen right now. Remember, these are long-term charts. So consolidation take a while. Right? Did I stop sharing that poll? I should have stopped sharing. I hope it wasn't bothering you guys. EuroCAD. EuroCAD went up and now it's dropping. I didn't think it was going to drop from here because structurally this piece was looking more up. So right now EuroCAD needs to give us a consolidation and we'll be looking at this. We'll be looking at these structures. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. We would look at this whole piece here as one piece. And then if we get a consolidation here, we're going to trade this down to the bottom. And when they start to go, you notice after the consolidation, all these moves are really sharp, right? They're really sharp. I'm looking at the ones after the consolidation. You got 1, 2, 3. This is a sharp move. You got 1, 2, 3. That was a sharp move. You get 1, 2, 3. This would end up being a very sharp move. So you could get a lot of trades down there that might be nice. Keep your focus on this one, right? Put it in the 1 hour. You're getting some consolidation there. Too small. I think that is too small. Let it consolidate more. Maybe a couple of days and then that would be good. So let's see. Short term, if you want to buy into that consolidation, well, like I said, if you trade short term, you can buy into this thing going up slowly. You'll get 10, 15 pips every trade about that. Euro Swiss, just like the Swiss, I expect this to go up because this pattern here doesn't look. But if you look at this, right, they're already making those patterns that look like they're going to go up and they kept going down. But I think somewhere in here, we're looking for a big running flatter. So that's sorry, in this piece, we're looking for a big running flat in here. Somewhere here, this should have ended the structure up. Let's see whether this goes. If it breaks out, then only we'll be interested in the buy. Selling it from there, you have to have a very good flag. If you have a very good 1 hour flag here, you can take the chance of selling. If you have a 1 hour flag here that gives you a nice correction like that, then you can go for this one more move, put it to break even, and if you're lucky, they'll break the low. If you're not lucky, they're going to come back, give you break even, but they're going to give you a wonderful buy setup, right? You will get a very good buy setup. That's the most important thing. Euro yen. Yen dropped. We expected to go, but not that much. Well, I didn't expect it to go that much that fast because we're in a downtrend and we had some sell setups coming. I just didn't think it was going to go that far, that fast, and that much, right? But we had some sell setups here. We were going in that consolidation there that we broke out of. There was a sell setup here. This would have been a good sell setup. And if you took that one and you put it to break even, you should have got some profit. Look for buy setups now. Put it in the 1 hour and look for buy setups. Wait for flags. I don't think you want to go into this thing here now. If you're going to do that, you have to be very, very careful to make sure you have a very tight stop here, percentage-wise, not the pip size, which means you're risking less. And if it goes very fast, you're lucky you will get the trade, right? Euro-Pound. Euro-Pound is a very, very strange one if you look at it, right? If you look at this piece here, that piece is there where we're looking at, right? It's making a deep pullback up there. It didn't make the pattern we expected to make, right? When we were in here, it didn't behave the way we expected it to be. It did drop, but it didn't break the low, right? Remember when we had this piece, we said, okay, watch this to come back to that level, then drop beyond this level before they go back up. Well, they're still going sideways. And that means it could still be within this consolidation zone, which means you might be still going sideways for a very long time before you actually come out of that sideways move. So right now, big picture looks like we've just finished this piece here and we're heading down. So if we get a consolidation here and a drop, we'll take the trade. If it goes slow, you can get out of it, but it's worth taking. Pound Swiss. This one looks upside. You can see that this pattern perfectly worked. They finished that pattern, drop, come back here, wait for consolidation, we'll buy. Buy might be short term, but we'll still buy it. We'll see where it goes from there. I'm not going to go deep into all these patterns because it will take very long. As you can see, this one here, see that sharp move there? We're actually repeating that. So if you get a buy sell setup here, it might be short term. There's a good chance they're going to go back up one more, making a running flat in there. See that? That possibility exists. So just be careful if you get into the sell. I would like to see a deep, long, drawn-out consolidation. Getting into a buy might be worth it, right? If you actually get a flag here for a buy setup, this might be worth it more because the chances are they can go up one more and they may be going up from right this point. If that is the case, you want to get into the buy. Put it to break even and leave it. CAD, stay out of this, but I'll give you an idea where I think it's going. Come on. Okay. I think it's going to go down and it should go down long term like that. But right now you don't have a setup for a sell. So we'll wait on this. That is making a big 4 hour consolidation in this piece here. And it actually looks upside, not downside. So first I would want it to prove that they're going to go down by coming up here and then start to go down. And then we would look at the trading this to the downside. See? Let it do that. Let's go. Pound yen, upside. Wait for flags, wait for correction, buy. You wouldn't want to buy into that small correction there. If you do this, you'll have to get it to break even fast. If you're buying right now into this very small correction, it goes up somewhere, put it to break even. Because there's a good chance you will get a deeper correction, something like this before you go. Now, it might take a long while before it gives you a deep correction. So if you do the buying now, it's good. That buy is a good one. You just have to manage the trade properly and risk not too much. Pound New Zealand. Short term, I would like this to go up, but I think long term, we're going to go down. So let's see, put it in the daily. We can see that daily, weekly. We're in a down structure. So like I said, short term, I can see them consolidating here in this little piece. I can actually see them in a weekly pattern making something like this and then downside. Right? So I can see a weekly consolidation in there before we drop. right? Let's see if we get that, right? It's just started. We've only got one leg up of that consolidation, so it's nothing much. In terms of where you can go short term, look for downside. Like I said, first a little up here, and then we look for downside to retest the slope. Aussie yen, upside. Wait for a nice consolidation. If you put the entry order in, you'll have to be able to manage that, right? That's an entry order we had from our this morning webinar. But if you put that, you really have to manage it. There are 3 options there that I showed in the week in our today's London webinar. Right, not something I'm going to go through there. New Zealand, okay, this is another one. If you buy this, you can see the buy setup. This one has a lot of consolidation. This is a good buy setup. You'd have to move to break even. Right? But not right now. I'll let it go some more, then move it to break even. So if you want to buy it now, it might be worth it. Just don't risk too much of it. Because there's still a chance that all of this will pull back before they go. So your job will have to be to get out to break even if that should happen. CAD yen, same here. All the yen pairs. Wait for pullback and then we'll trade it. This one too, right? It will pull back. Wait for the pullback and then you'll get in the trade. Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD is very similar. Nice trade down, right? You can see that the arrow is there to show you nice trade down. And now we wait for consolidation to buy. Aussie, New Zealand, I already told you about this one, so I'm not going to go over there. Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD also, you can look for buy setups. This is in a big sideways move. You can put an entry order, you can wait for the consolidation to break out, and then you buy. New Zealand CAD, stay out of this one. New Zealand Swiss, stay. You get a buy setup here, but it's short term, but you can take the trade if you want, or you can wait. Just stay out of this. CAD, stay out of this. Copper. I don't think you want to trade copper right now because structurally it doesn't have anything good in it. I think we're going to expect some upside within this consolidation. See this here? Come back to the top there, and then it will be interesting to the downside. So even if you go for that short-term buy, it's not quite a lot. It might not be very interesting. It might take a long time to go. So there might be a buy setup that comes back to retest this top. And if this consolidation is doing what we think it's going like this, come here, it's going to probably do something like this. So you might start to get consolidation here and then go back and then something like that before it drops. So wait for all of this to finish, and then this will be an interesting sell. If we wait for all of that to finish, we'll get a really good sell there. Natural gas. Natural gas came down more than I expected, so I think we will be heading to the downside. You probably want to wait for this to correct itself up, and that could be good buy setups. If this starts to correct itself, you can get buy setups back to the top and then down. US oil. Drop more than we expected. I thought we'll get a very big correction here, and then we'll get one more up, and then we'll drop. Well, they actually dropped without the one more up. That's rare, but it happens. So now we will be looking at this possibility of it to come back to retest this level. Right? If you were following me last year, I showed the possibility of 1, 2 to the top there, 3, 4, and they might come back here for a 5th. Right? So we will watch this, not a 5-wave structure, a 5th move in that structure. So that's not an Elliott wave count you saw there. I'm not counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what you'll wait for here is let this make a correction up here and then see if we get a drop. So there might be buy setups here, short term, because it's going to correct to the upside. If you're interested in those buy, you'd have to be careful, wait for a good setup, wait for flags, wait for some. As you can see, short term, we're expecting this to drop. We're expecting this to drop down a little. Wait on the 1 hour, you can see that. I'm expecting this to come down a little here first, then go back. So you may want to wait for this pattern to complete itself, then look for the buy setup. Let's go with this one. I think we will have more upside because we've got this pattern. This is what the pattern turned out to be, something like this. Looks like an expanding flat. Looks very much like an expanding flat with this structure in here making all the corrections. We thought this will go up from here, but it actually dropped lower. I don't see big downside here. We're in a consolidation. Let me just show you that. We're not in a down move. Down move does not look like that. You're in a consolidation. We've had consolidations like that before. Here is a good example. This turned out to be a running flat, right? See that? They go, they drop, and this one dropped beyond that level. That's an expanding flat. They have such structure. That means you can still expect this to go up more. At least one more, and then we will look for the drop, right? So here might be a good example of that, except that this one didn't go that low. See, oh, sorry. You notice we broke this top, very light, like we broke that top. And then this one, actually, I'm not sure if it broke the low, but I think it did, right? We broke the low here, and then we go back. So if you're taking this pattern here and putting on top of that, except that this broke the low a bit more than that one, if you're looking at it that way, it broke the low a bit more, but similar pattern, expanding flats. So there's a good chance we start looking for upside here. Let's see if they give us buy setups. If they give you buy setups, you should take it. As a matter of fact, some of my traders might be in it already because we're looking for possible buy setups in the break of this. And we are breaking out of that. If you get a little flag here, that might be a good buy setup. DAX also. DAX might get one more drop, be careful. Maybe just one drop before they go up, or they could start to go up from this. We're looking at this pattern in the DAX. Right, there's a big running flat. So let's see if this is going to go up from here. If that works, that would be a good one. You wait for the buy setup on the 1 hour and you'll get in the trade. All right, let's go. What else? I think that's about it. Let's look at Bitcoin for some of you, those of you who do Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, I still think, remember we said, watch the lows. That was a buy setup you're seeing there. If you took that trade, it was a short-term trade. I think Bitcoin is going to go sideways, but up on a daily structure, sideways, but up. So you're going to get more up, very much more up. But it's not an impulse to the upside. It's more of a B wave structure in the making, right? The corrective structure in the making. So if you're looking at this piece might come here a little, and then you can start to look for buy setups on this one, right? So there might be a little drop here, and then we're expecting some more upside there. If you bought Ethereum, you did well from this point. Right now, it's going to come down a little more. It looks like we might get a nice big flat here with this piece like that, and then we're going to go. That's a possibility. Look at XRP. If you bought this on this one here, from this buy setup here, you can see that. If you bought that, you should have got out of this trade somewhere in here or somewhere in here. So you made that profit, right? Excuse me. Right now, it's the same thing. I think this one is going to go a little there, come back here, and then probably go. Kind of make a flat here before they go. So it's going to be like sideways move a lot. I think that's what those trade. I don't think anything else we'll look at. So it's it's very much close to the hour. So I can take a few questions if you guys have. Let's see, there is already some question there. Let me see. I think it makes sense. Okay, those are comments on the charts. Any questions you guys have? Nifty, let's do Nifty. Yes, I normally do Nifty. Let's go get Nifty and do it. Nifty for those who trade it. Nifty is in a sideways move. This will come down, but first you're still gonna have within this correction here, you're gonna have one more up like that. So if you get a buy setup here, you can take it, put it to positive, and then take profit out of it because this is gonna go down. Right, but this could slightly go up some more before that happens. Right? Turkish lira, let's see Turkish lira. If we start doing this now, it's gonna be a non-stop process, right? You guys realize that if I start doing Turkish lira, then immediately after Turkish lira, somebody has something else to ask, right? So let's take Turkish lira as the last one. Let me see where I have it. Where do I have those? Bitcoin. Oh, there is it, Turkish lira. So, oh, you got a nice chance. This thing actually did made all its correction here. See, like 1, 2, 3, you can start to look for sell setups. I think you're going to get some sell setups coming very soon. Wait for a consolidation here and then look for at least one more drop. Right, so it's short term, it's going to go. Strategy for silver for long term, wait for correction and then buy. Wait for a bigger correction, yes. If you're not in right now, wait for a bigger correction. Don't try to buy it now. Let's go, what else? Euro New Zealand weekly views. Euro New Zealand, I'm sorry, what happened there? What the hell just happened there to my chart? Come on. Go back to the charts. And let's see, one more go back. Yep, go back like this. Let's go Euro New Zealand. Let's see Euro New Zealand long term. Euro New Zealand long term. I think long term we might be in a bigger consolidation here. Probably come back this way and then start up, kind of like a three-wave structure here, and then up. So this would be more like a big consolidation long term. Long-term structures tend to change if they don't, but you can see that it takes a long time, so you can see that change. X with ABC leg after the fifth wave. Not necessarily. You see, that is why I can't explain it, because I don't see the fifth wave you're talking about. So there isn't anything to explain there. You would be surprised. There's a lot of people who finish my course. They will tell you, I don't use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not something I like to publicly talk about, because unless you want to learn that, you join my course. That's not something, because that is going to create a lot of uproar with those who are doing Elliott wave, and they think they're professionals and very good at it. And I'll just have argument with people for unnecessary reasons, right? I don't want to get into those arguments. If you think you're doing those counting and those fancy things and putting all those ABCs and 1, 2, 3, 4, all of the charts, and it's helping you, great. It didn't work for me. It's not working for all the hundreds of people who join me. They have learned a different way and they're making money. You would see the success the traders are making in my room. You would really be surprised, right? You will be surprised, right? These guys are not, you don't see them out there because we don't make it big. Like I said, this would be the first time we're putting out some testimonies. And it's not like ad parties, just traders coming out and saying at the year end what they think about the group, right, that they're in. And all of them are successful traders that are doing that. 60% plus successful traders we have. 90% of traders lose money in Forex. Well, we are beating that odds by a lot. We have 60% success. And it's not because the other 40% are not going to ever be successful, right? It's not like a 60% static. We keep getting new traders every year, right? We do 2 or 3 courses a year and we get new traders. So those traders may take a while before they get on. Like some traders, one guy doubled his account. It took him a year and a half to actually grab the concept, learn the stuff, and then start making money, right? But once he was in it took him about a year and a half to do it. But then once he did that, in less than a year, he doubled his account. Right? And now he knows he can keep doing it. That's a good thing. Right? We train you, we keep you in the group, and we train you until you meet that point where you can make money, right? At what point should we look at an upward impulse and a downward impulse? The question itself is not fully correct, because you look for any impulse after a correction. So it's not at what point you look for it. It's when a correction happens. So let me just give you a good example very fast, right? Because people keep saying that, and I see people, I was asked once to go on Saxo TV. I think, well, no, not Saxo, Dukas TV, right? Dukas, I think I have a TV, to give my forecast. And I said, well, I can't do that. Where do I think euro is going to go Monday? It was a Friday. Where do you think euro is going to go Monday, up or down? And I said, well, I can't do that. They said, why? I said, because I don't do that. That doesn't make sense. That's a guessing work. I have to see structurally what euro is doing Monday, and then I can tell you where I think it's going to go Monday. If you want to know where it's going to go long-term, mid-term, I can tell you based on the structure I have right now. I'm not in the guessing business. So I'm not saying I know where the chart is going to go. I'm saying if you give me a pattern, I can read that pattern very accurately. So you need an impulse and you need a correction. This correction will make a specific pattern. What the pattern is, how deep that pattern is going to happen, how shallow that pattern, how long the pattern is going to take, how short time the pattern is. Not my business. I don't care. Let it do how long it has to do. We can trade within that pattern if you're looking at a daily chart. There are a lot of trades within the pattern. But once that pattern is finished and we know where we think that pattern will complete itself, what it needs to do, the requirements to complete it. And if we get those requirements, we know we're going to have an exit pulse. So one of them, I have a chart to show you that. You've been following me. I actually showed you that chart today. For those who have followed me for years now will know that we've been talking about the Aussie New Zealand, and we've been talking about that up move that is coming. And we told you specifically what we need to happen for that up move to start. We needed to break this low. These are very specific things we've been telling you. I've been giving you out secrets, put it that way, that you needed to come and break this low before that up move starts. And you see how it worked like magic. Now, you can go say, hey, it was because of some flash crash, or it was because of somebody did something, blah, 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 blah. Did I know there was going to be a flash crash? I didn't know that. I don't have to know that. It doesn't have to be a flash crash. It could be anything. The market will move towards that level. See, these are very simple things. You don't need to know why it's happening, what is going to cause it. Not your business. You'll never know that. You just need to know how the pattern looks. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. You need to know what the pattern should look like before you start understanding it's a complete pattern. That's all. When you understand that, trading becomes easy. Let me repeat that. When you understand that, when you're able to read the charts so good like we do, trading becomes joy. You can see it. I don't normally show the accounts I'm trading for my investors because that is not a very good thing to do. But this guy actually, when he gave me, he said, I would like you to, if you ever want to use it, you can do that. And then I said, okay, I promise people I'm going to give them 1 week. And I said, well, sure, I really want you to do that. So, he said, one of his things is that a lot of people don't know. He wants more people to know what I'm doing. I really don't like to do that. I'm not much into that. But this guy thinks people should see it because it's amazing. So I said, okay, I'll use your account to do it. Will we make a lot of trades? I don't know. Maybe there may be no trade setup, but we will see. We'll go in that week and then we'll see what happens there. That's not, there's a lot of very good setup. I will tell you that. So I would see all of you next Sunday. From Sunday, we'll be back to normal. It will be 2 separate links, one for the weekly outlook and one for the trading week. I hope you can share both of them. And I hope you can ask people to share it. Let's get maximum amount of people we can get into that room to see everything, right? All of you take care. Have a good week. Trade with caution, trade with care, make money, and I will see you next week. All right, take care, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.